Welcome back. I am just thoroughly enjoying this show with Rochelle as she is sharing things about health and leadership and moving forward. Rochelle, I'd like you to continue from what you were talking about on the last segment about to being together.
Well, it's really important that we realize and monitor our own energy because it's not just at work that we need to do it, it's in all areas of our lives. And
Mm-hmm.
even I found a church became very unhealthy for me. And you just think, how could a church become unhealthy? But I have no need for gossip. It
Yep.
just is not in my life plane. It's just
Mm-hmm.
something I don't let in. But we need to figure out the inner circle is so important to our health, our
Mm-hmm.
vitality at work. You need to know who are the two people that are your ride or die,
Mm-hmm.
because those are the people that will say, Rochelle, you're looking super tired. It's
Mm-hmm.
like some days I don't recognize it myself,
Mm-hmm.
but my job as a leader is
Mm-hmm.
to mirror back to you. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're not living the core values, and as leaders, it's
Mm-hmm.
in my family's the same way. We have a big thing at my house is we live above the line. We do not live in blame, shame. We live in responsibility. It's always we want to not blame, shame, or justify. We
Mm-hmm.
take full responsibility. And as leaders, we need to encourage each of our members to realize that that's a breathing, healthy organism. But as a
Mm-hmm.
leader, we need to make sure that things are clear. And if your job is to feel if something's off, where is it that we need to shift? Because no
Mm-hmm.
different than how we have to transform in our life and going back to reflecting on where have we been as an individual, where
Mm-hmm.
have we been in our corporations,
Mm-hmm.
where do we need to reframe? And our job is to hear all the voices. It's just not my voice, because you have to buy in to this concept. And by the way, another thing that I found very important in leadership, and boy did I fail in something, is when people go like this, that's not active agreement. If you're
That's
agreeing on
correct.
something as a team, do
That's
you
right.
agree? Rochelle? Yes. Jerry? Yes. And that's one of the things as a leader we need to make sure, because if you have one person in dissension, it can bring the whole team back and you have to start over. That
And
is such a good.
what you're talking about, Rochelle, is important because when people do this, it's acknowledgement, doesn't mean agreement. And so
Right.
that's truly important. So I acknowledge what you say, but if I have a disagreement, it's up to me to bring the voice to the table of a different point of view that
Mm-hmm.
I'm disagreeing. And
Mm-hmm.
when you have people who are shy and who are introverts, it's our responsibility to bring them into the conversation and say your voice matters. I was in a meeting with a client earlier today and we were having a discussion. And there was a guy that was sitting on the phone, he wasn't saying anything, and I called him out by name and I said, your voice matters.
Yes.
I need to hear from you. What do you think? What is it that you're striving for? What is it that you want? Because people have expectations, they have desires, and they have needs, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not all the same. There
Mm-hmm.
was our last segment, even you were talking about it's up to us as leaders to know birthdays and all the rest of that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'll share a story with you that was very enlightening when when I was coming up. So I'd gone to this leadership training and they told me about knowing birthdays and anniversaries. So I go back and I'm getting everybody's birthday and I'm all excited. And on birthdays, I'm just sending a card. Happy birthday. Enjoy your day. That's what it said. That was it. So I wouldn't offend anybody, right? And I'd say from Vicki, you know. So anyway, so this one day I put a card out and gave it and left it on the guy's desk. And probably about 3 hours later, I get a phone call and it's HR. And they told me, we need to see you. I said,
Mm.
okay, what's going on? And so I said, I'm available. You can come on upstairs. So they came upstairs and she said, I just want to tell you that you offended your team member today. I said, which one? And she told me, I said, how did I offend him? Today's his birthday. She said, it's not your right to give him a birthday card. He doesn't celebrate birthdays and he
Mm.
doesn't appreciate it. So I said, oh, I never thought about that. So I went to him. I apologized. I let him
Mhm.
know I didn't mean anything by it. That I was just, I was celebrating his day, but I didn't realize that's how he felt. From that day forward,
Mhm.
when I would have my onboarding with my team members, the first thing I would ask is, how are you, what motivates you, right? Because I can only provide a motivating environment. You got to motivate yourself. So what
Amen.
motivates you? What are your goals in terms of where you want to go, in terms of what you want to do? What roadblocks do I need to remove to help you to get there? And number four, do you celebrate birthdays or anniversaries or anything? But I had to make it part of my questions to get to know them because
Mhm.
I had offended someone. And I
I-
was just like, I was younger. I
mhm.
was appalled. I'm like, this is what they told us in leadership training. I'm trying to do what they taught me, right?
Yeah,
So it
it
is
is.
important that we do that validation and understand.
Totally agree. I mean, I had a Jehovah Witness lady on my team once, and she made it very clear up front, like, not to say that some of my speak is that I do pray for people, or
Yes,
but that's my core value, right?
right.
And so understanding that, and that's a brilliant, perspective, because our job, to the best of our ability, and we get to be human too,
Yes,
which some days I do better now at this age than I did at 40, because now
exactly.
I have to pay attention, that you figure the energy that we have at this age, where we were at 40. And there are people that are born with just amazing energy because of the jobs that we're called to do. But we
Hmm.
have to figure out what that pace is for everyone. And that's what, so
Hmm.
after we reframe as an individual or reframe as a team, what creates that renewal? And that kind of
Hmm.
goes back to that self-care, like helping to prioritize on what is it that brings you joy, and it goes back to the communication though. But I think that's important, that we can bring our whole person into our work, because I can't leave this, my mom's big thing was, no matter what happened to you at home, you put yourself in the shower, you put your red lipstick on, and you go.
Hmm.
Well, that's not healthy. That ends up looking like cancer of some form. Uh,
Yes.
so it's really important to understand your own boundaries. And that we talked about before, as leaders, no is a complete sentence. You don't
Yes.
have to explain yourself.
Hmm.
That's a huge thing, that sometimes it's just no, and sometimes it's not yet.
Hmm.
So be clear on what the needs are, the expectations. And if it's a no, some people wait and wait and wait to have their, day in the glory. Well,
Yes.
that glory is not in alignment with this team need. And
Yes.
so, and another thing that's a very good leadership, healthy thing for yourself and your employees, is sometimes it's very liberating to free up someone's future,
Hmm.
because they act like they have to have a job, right, to put food on the table, but maybe you're blocking them from their blessing. So if you
Hmm.
allow a C worker to continue to be a C minus worker, you could be blocking where that person could excel.
Yes.
So to really sit down and say, is this what you want? It's not
Yes.
healthy for you, it's not healthy for me.
Yes.
But if I can help you in another way,
Yes.
let's give you, some resume training. Let's, some things that maybe it's best not to have on the team. We don't want to have those conversations, but honestly, guys, it's part of a wellness conversation.
It is. And setting our boundaries are extremely important. And everybody has different boundaries and different needs. And one of the things that you were talking about was, especially when you're talking about the person on your team, when you say your language is I pray. I have learned to say it is my belief,
My belief. That's a
and
great
through my
distinction.
belief, I pray. I'm not offending anybody,
That's right.
because the most powerful word in the dictionary is I. Nobody can tell you how I feel. Nobody can tell you how I think. Nobody can tell you what's going through I's mind. Nobody, all of those things, nobody can tell you. So the safest thing is preface things from I think. It is my perspective. These are my boundaries. These are my expectations. These are everything in the power of I will allow you the opportunity to own it, to claim it, and nobody can take it away, right? They can't take it away because it's all about you.
Right.
And so I love how you made the connection of the wellness to our different cancers, that we allow the mental cancers, the emotional cancers, the physical,
it's
all of that.
Eating you. Whatever's eating you.
Eating
and all
you.
of you.
That's
anything
right.
that's eating you. Cancer was eating my breast off, my muscle off, my skin off. But what is diminishing, we're talking, this is ignite. If you cannot ignite your light in a natural fashion and you're always diminished, you've got to shift your life. Because honestly, you're either living or you're dying. And every day you get to make that choice in renewal. Every day when you get up, you say, I want to live. But I don't want to just live. I want to live my best and healthiest life.
That's right. Rochelle, this has been a phenomenal conversation. I am so glad that you came to join us as we are doing this episode. And just like she said, I think it's important, and I hope you all heard it. We want to ignite your soul to be happy, to give you guidance, to give you leadership, to solve solutions, to make things easy. We do not want to ignite any cancer, and I hope you don't either. Join us for the next episode of Ignite, and thank you so much for coming. Like it, share it, and can't wait to hear your feedback. See you next time.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.